Here's my story. I got a Honda Civic years ago only because I need to drive into work every single day. Then COVID came and work from home became a popular thing. And since then, I've only been working from my home office. So my car was just sitting in my driveway collecting dust, and I'd continued to make car payments and insurance payments every single month. Then I came across Turo and thought I'm not really using my car every day, so I might as well make some money with it, right? So I started renting out my car on Turo in August of 2022. My money-sucking car was transformed into a source of income, but now it's been almost a year and I've learned a ton of things about being a Turo host, both good and bad. So in this video, I'll share my experience with you guys and discuss some things to keep in mind if you want to start renting your car on Turo, and of course I'll reveal how much money I've made so far. If you're new here, hi, my name is Summer and this is Fire Hustle. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that shiny bell notification button. It really helps the channel more than you think and I'd really appreciate it. And as always, none of what I say is financial advice. Now, let's get right into it, starting with a brief overview of how Turo works. So Turo is basically a car sharing platform that connects users looking for car rentals to hosts that have vehicles available. The app's user base has grown a lot over the years to a point where you're probably more likely to find a rental on short notice through Turo compared to big car rental businesses like Budget or Enterprise. There are over 1,300 models to choose from and options for both short-term and long-term rentals. To make money as a Turo host, you just need to put your vehicle on the Turo app, along with pictures, a description, and availability. When other users find your car on the app, they can request to book your car and you can review their rental request. After accepting a request, the car needs to be prepared either for a pickup by the customer or drop off by the host for an extra fee. And preparation involves cleaning the car for the client as well as taking tons of pictures of the vehicle inside and out as proof of its current condition. You'll also need to take pictures after the car is returned, and this will serve as evidence in case any damages are done to the vehicle. Turo takes a portion of revenue as a fee. In Canada, where I'm from, the revenue split is 25-75, so this means that 25% of the total paid by clients is kept by Turo to cover the protection plan and their fees. The remaining 75% is kept by the host. In the United States, the host can choose from a list of plans that offer different earning splits, but a bigger cut for the host means less coverage for the vehicle during rentals. So for example, the 60 plan pays the host 60% of the revenue and Turo takes the other 40%, but this includes the best protection benefits for the host. Then there's a 90 plan where the host keeps 90% of their earnings and gives only 10% to Turo, but then there's a lot less coverage and benefits in case of vehicle damage. Now, Turo guests also have to choose a protection plan for their rental period, whether they're in Canada or the US. And this will impact how much they're liable to pay in case of damages or theft. Now, I can't cover everything about their insurance policies in this video, but if you want to learn more about how their insurance plans work, you can find the links to their policies in the description below. Now, Turo also has a two-way review system, so both the host and the client will have a rating associated with their profile. And this basically helps both parties decide about choosing and accepting rentals. Now, on the host side, it's important to try and get as many 5-star reviews as possible. The reason being is that you're more likely to attract more clients with better reviews. But this is also going to help you achieve all-star host status, which gives your profile a special badge and other perks like priority support with Turo. So that's a basic rundown of how Turo works, and if you want to learn more about Turo services, you can check out my other videos. Now, having used Turo for almost a year now, I've been able to land over 40 bookings, and I've come across many different clients and situations. And while making money with Turo sounds good, there are some drawbacks that I've only learned through experience. So let's start off with some pros of running a Turo business. First of all, it is a great way to make use of your car if you already have one sitting in your driveway. So if you work from home like me, chances are you don't really need your car during the week unless you're going out every single night. Turo does let you set your own availability schedule, so if you know that you'll need your car from Friday to Sunday, you can allow rentals from Monday to Thursday every week. And this sort of flexibility ensures that your client bookings don't conflict with your personal schedule. Now, keep in mind, I do have another car for personal use, and managing your life without a car can be difficult if you're not used to it. Now, one thing I've noticed about running a Turo business is the level of customer loyalty. So if you're willing to put in the work and effort to make sure that your clients have a good experience, they might consider coming back to you for another rental. And in fact, I actually saw that a good number of my bookings were from repeat clients, and this tells me that there is potential to build a solid customer base rather than just having random one-time rentals. And in a nutshell, a good experience basically means answering any of the questions that the client may have, maintaining the car, and being timely friendly, just to name a few. Now, there are a few things to consider when putting your car up on Turo, and your car does need to be able to pass a safety inspection. Now, what I like is that a few months back, I got a notification through the Turo app to complete a safety inspection for my vehicle. Now, what's great is that Turo provided a link to complete the inspection through Rideshare Mechanic, and it was super easy. The whole inspection process was done online through video, and it just took about 10 minutes, and this was more convenient than having to make an appointment and take my car to a technician, and it only cost me $37. Turo also has an excellent support team, so I'm actually impressed with how quickly and smoothly they operate to resolve any issues that come up. So for example, one of my clients gave back the car with a large scratch on the front bumper, so I contacted Turo support and they quickly helped me through the steps required to resolve it with the client. And this included booking a service appointment to repair the damages, which was covered by Turo's insurance policy, and a deductible from the client. So far, in my opinion, Turo has done a great job of providing protection for hosts like myself, so you never know what could actually happen to the vehicle when it's being rented out, and this just gives the host, which is myself, some peace of mind. Alright, so now with all that being said, let's talk about some of the cons of running a Turo business. For one, Turo can be a great source of income for car owners, but this business isn't really passive. There's actually a pretty significant time commitment required to make sure things run smoothly, and I'm not saying that it requires full-time hours, but you definitely need to put aside a couple of hours between rentals to clean and prepare the car for the next client. And this can really become a hassle if you've got back-to-back bookings. So I've been in many situations where there's just a couple of hours between two bookings, and I have to make sure that the car is clean and prepared for the next period. And because of this, I actually stopped accepting one-day rentals because it just wasn't worth the time. And now I make sure that all of my bookings are at least 2 days or longer. Turo also gives you the option to do pickups and drop-offs at any location, like a local airport for example. And I found that this actually helped me get more bookings because it's a convenient option for tourists visiting the country. Now, after doing pickups and drop-offs for a while now, I learned that there's definitely going to be some delays, whether that's the flight being delayed or clients are just late to meet at the pickup spot. And sometimes I end up waiting for over an hour. So in this type of situation, it would really help to have a flexible work schedule, but this type of arrangement may not fit everyone's lifestyle. So if you do decide to pick up and drop off the car, let's say at the airport or any other location, make sure that the fee is worth your time. Now, even if you aren't meeting clients at a separate location, people can still end up being late to pickups even at your own house. So that means you kind of need to be on standby to greet them and hand over your keys. And in case you're not at home, it would be almost impossible to accept last-minute bookings unless you leave your best friend's birthday party early to run back home. And yes, that happened to me. Luckily, my friend forgave me eventually, but I do have a good solution for this. Some fleet owners may hire someone else to do the handover and manage bookings, but depending on how much you're making, this might just not be worth it. So personally, I'm using a system called MoveTrax that allows you to manage your car remotely. This includes GPS tracking, unlocking and locking your car from your phone, and even giving your clients a temporary access pass to unlock it themselves. Then the key can be left inside the car in an RFID box to cut off signal and allow you to use the app while making sure to avoid theft. Another issue that I came across is clients leaving my car in pretty bad condition. So normally it doesn't take too much work to just wipe down the insides and take the car for a wash and freshen it up with a nice scent. But occasionally there would be a horrendous smell in my car that is difficult to air out, or a large spill on the seats and middle console. And these things just take more time to take care of, and if you're in a time crunch, this can get pretty annoying. Because if you do things in a rush and you leave the job half finished, then your next client will have a pretty bad experience and that could bring your ratings down. So I actually have a video on what products I use to prevent these types of issues after a lot of learning, and I'll leave it in the description below for anyone that's interested. Now, speaking of leaving your car in a bad condition, your vehicle will get scratches and dents over time. I guarantee this. I'm saying this is a certainty, and you need to accept this as the owner of the vehicle. Personally, I see my car as an asset that can make me money and expect there to be damages over time, which can be repaired later on if needed. Turo support will definitely help you out with the larger damages, but smaller scratches and dents are not covered, so you need to be okay with that. When it comes to damage repairs, I learned that while over time you might find yourself wanting to be nice to people when they scratch or dent your car, letting it be is not the best option. You can't just ask Turo to repair it in the future, so it's best to deal with it right away. Now, recently Turo partnered with CrashBay, which is an online open marketplace for car repairs. They connect qualified car repair shops with car owners, insurers, fleets, and more. Now, on Turo's end, their support really helped me out a lot when it came to the damage that happened to my front bumper. I selected a repair shop close to my location and went to get an estimate. Then the estimate was sent to CrashBay from the repair shop. In these cases, the driver may have to pay a deductible and the rest is covered by Turo. So now in my case, unfortunately, the earliest appointment the shop could give me was about a month later, which was fine because I wasn't in a rush. I was still able to rent out the car because it still functioned perfectly. The only issue was that it had a scratch on the bumper. However, when the servicing date came, I called the shop to confirm the appointment and they told me that they didn't receive any payment, so they couldn't order the parts and therefore there was no appointment. Now, of course, this was really frustrating because I waited a month for this appointment and clearly there was a lot of miscommunication. I thought that I did everything on my end to manage and the last thing to do was wait for the appointment date. So if you're in this situation, what I would do differently is just stay on top of both the repair shop and CrashBay and follow up with them to confirm everything. Make sure that the payment is sent, parts are ordered, and the appointment is made. It wasn't too big of a deal for me, but it definitely would have saved time if there was better communication. So these are some of the major lessons I've learned after being a Turo host for almost a year. So now you're probably wondering, how much did I make from this business? Well, let's take a look at my earnings. I started renting out my car on Turo in August of last year, and it's been about 11 months now. So far, I've earned a total of $6,120. My car is currently being rented out now, and I've already accepted some future bookings totaling $1,040. So my grand total in revenue from Turo is $7,160. But how much of this is profit? So to calculate my profit from this, I subtracted all of the expenses related to my car. So my car payments are about $173 per month and another $173 for insurance. This adds up to $346 USD every month. So that's $3,806 in car payments since the start of my Turo journey. I also had to purchase new winter tires because Turo requires your tires to be less than 6 years old. This cost me $453. I did one oil change for $97. The safety inspection through Rideshare Mechanic cost me $38. Car washes and cleaning materials added up to $200. Now my car was being rented out at least 3 out of 4 weeks per month, and I never had to use the car myself, so I didn't spend any money on gas. Subtracting all of these expenses from the total revenue, I ended up with a net profit of $2,566 over the 11-month period of being a Turo host. But wait, I actually made more than that thanks to this little device here that plugs right into my car. This device is sold by a company called Demo, and basically what they do is collect data from your car like battery health, fuel economy, and other metrics. And in exchange for sharing your data with Demo, you receive a reward in the form of Demo tokens. Yes, this is a cryptocurrency, but the tokens can easily be exchanged for real-life currencies like the US dollar. So in other words, this device creates an additional source of income that is completely passive while your car is already being rented out and driven. So I personally gain an extra $60 per month just by doing this, and another $60 after connecting the Demo app to my other car. So depending on which car you have, you might not even need to buy the device. You can just directly connect to the Demo app and start earning passively, which is pretty cool. And now imagine if you have a fleet, then of course you can earn with each car. If you want to learn more about Demo and how it works, check out my overview video here. Now for those of you that are curious about the mileage that's been added on from all of my rentals, I've accumulated about 26,000 kilometers or around 16,000 miles. Of course, this does impact the level of depreciation on my car, and I do plan on buying out the car. There's about $6,000 left to pay off the entire car, which would remove one major expense. So after almost a year of being a Turo host, you're probably wondering if I think it's all worth it. The net profit from this business so far has been just over $2,500, and that's after almost a full year of renting out my car. That works out to about $233 per month on average. Now this number might seem a little low to a lot of you, but keep in mind that this is after the car payments are covered. If I didn't Turo my car and it was just sitting in the driveway, then I'd actually be paying out of pocket and losing money on the payments. So this gave me the opportunity to pay for my car while netting some profit every month. And once the car is fully paid off, the profit margin will increase. Don't forget my insurance is also covered along with maintenance costs. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that some of the expenses are not required every single year. For example, I only had to buy the winter tires because mine were more than 6 years old, and now I won't have to spend any more money on tires for the coming years. So whether or not this business is right for you really depends on your personal situation. If you're willing to put in the time and effort to create a good experience for your customers, then this could be the opportunity to earn extra income. Another thing to consider is whether or not you already have a car to rent out. In my case, I already had a car sitting on my driveway not being used. So if you don't already have a car for the business, another option would be to look into getting a car just for Turo. And that'll require more research about the type of car you should buy, what the risks are in case the business doesn't work out, where to park the car, and many other factors. And I actually considered adding another car to my Turo business, but first I want to see how things went with the car I already had. And in this situation, I would say that it is worth it because my earnings help to pay off my expenses and I still end up with a profit. And that's all, folks. If you want to learn more about Turo and how to start your own Turo business, I'll leave all the links to my other videos in the description below. And if there's any other topics around Turo that you want me to cover, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And remember, none of this is financial advice. Definitely do your own research before deciding to rent your car on Turo. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the next one.